Hey, hey, hey. Good morning. This is the F&E podcast brought to you by your host, Achille Page. And this is the Finance Morning Show. Originally broadcasted at 9:30 a.m. This is my second tardy due to me having to handle my car. My car was recently in an accident, so I had to get on the phone with the insurance and things like that. So for this finance show, I do want to do things a little bit differently today. I'm not gonna read off my notes. We're going we're gonna kind of have a free flowing finance show, if that makes sense to everybody. I am gonna read off the quote of the day though. We're gonna keep that going. And we'll probably build off the finance off of that. We'll probably go ahead and piggyback off of that for today 45 minutes. If that's okay with y'all. If not, y'all go ahead and let me know. Say, hey, Kelly, we need more financial information. The quotes is good and all, but and then we'll fix that. But today, so our quote today is the three C's of life: choices, chances, changes. You must make the choice to take a chance if you want anything in life to change. And actually, we can piggyback off of that. The three C's of life: choices, chances, and changes. And financially, we all have a choice, we all have a chance, and we all can make a change. So, this finance show will be on the three C's of life. Okay? So let's start with choices. We're gonna start with the choices that we make that tends to make us negative in the balance or positive in the balance. Um, let's just start with personal choices. Okay. The personal choice to live above means and uh, below means is very important to a person's financial success. So if you have the choice to buy, let's say you have the choice, and this is kind of the thing I'm going through right now. I have a choice right now if I want to stick to purchasing my Honda or purchasing a different car. So this is one of the three C's that I have to deal with currently in my present day of life. Do I want to go above my means, and do I want to purchase, let's just say, a 2024, 2025 car, or do I want to stay in my means and purchase a 2014, 2016 car? Although the 2025 or 2024 car, I apologize, I don't know what that was, but the 2024 car, um, if I purchase that, granted, I probably will have a more extended lifetime on my car because it's newer, granted. But see, the choices that you make is very detrimental because I could go find a 2014, 2015, 2016 car with 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 miles on it. And to me, when somebody drive a car 30, 40, 50,000 miles, they still really haven't broke that car and they was just really getting into that car. So to like I would sacrifice or make the choice to take the miles over the years. Although some people don't want to make that choice. Some people need or some people want to be in that 2024, 2025 car because of the year it is right now. It's 2025. No, everybody want to stay up to date. That's the choice that they make. Me, I'll take the back in by the 2016. And that's just we just talking about the 3 C's in life now. So we just talking about choices, okay? And everybody, and like I said, everybody has a choice they have to make. So me, I'm going to take the 2016 route. I found me a nice little Honda. I'm saying, probably about well, I can't remember how many miles. I think it was like 37,000 miles on this, something like that. Hey, I get more features. You know what I'm saying? If y'all didn't know, I had a 2012 Honda Accord, so really, I'm going up in probably about 3 to 4 years too. So I am getting some years. I'm not getting 10, 12 years. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not updating it that far. But who I'm not to say I can't. I just feel more comfortable living in my means. That's my choice. Other people have different choices. Other people want to, they have to or need to make that choice for them. Um, Needless to say, when you make a choice, you're not right or wrong. You just making that choice that best fits you. So I want you to know, even if you are making a different type of choice, it's some people that probably don't even want a 2012. They probably want like 2004 car. I think I still see people driving in 2004 cars. So I mean, ultimately, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to. Your choice is your choice, basically. You don't let nobody else determine your choice but you. You only know how comfortable you are within the choices that you make. Okay. You can take the advice of other people and, consider things that other people say, but your choices ultimately come down to your decision. Um, we can keep talking about choices for a little bit here. I use cars as an example because that's one of the examples I was going through currently in my present day of life. Another thing is houses. I know somebody currently going through. I know people that have went through purchasing a house. That process of purchasing a house. So, and I just want to inform people that this is the time to look into buying a house because of the APRs. The interest rates is down right now. So that's a good thing. The price is up, but the interest rates is down. So ultimately, if you can make that choice, I would take that chance probably now. But I say this to say, um, just make sure that everything is lined up. Just make sure everything is lined up because when you make that choice right there, you're putting you're putting yourself into situations you don't know if you no longer know the outcome. You don't control the outcome of that situation. So, you know, the banks do, the the creditors do. Them type of people really control that route right there. But the choice is definitely a positive choice right now. Um, Stability is key. Stability is very valuable to the amount of success that you're going to attain. So with making that choice in life, you're making a decision that ultimately is going to put you in a different bracket or in a different level than a normal citizen. You know what I'm saying? Not to say the normal citizen that do rent or and things like that is below, but it is levels to living. So um, the people that I have seen made that choice, their life has greatly increased. So I would encourage people if they having uh that type of thought to go ahead and take that risk on becoming homeowners. Uh, let's talk a little bit on the other side of finance of choices because this is a podcast, although it is we talking about finance in the morning. So the choices that you make outside of your finance decision is important as well because it makes up the your character. It makes up your moral, it makes up your ethic. It makes up the way people value you as a person. So, these choices that, you know, these non-finance choices that we do make in life, we do need to, you know, think and value the choices that we do make outside of these non-finance. I'm saying that because your worth ultimately falls on the choices you make in life. So if we see somebody outside, um, just just out of it, just kneeling down, humming and taking their clothes off and things of that sort, we're gonna look at them and we're gonna think like the choices that they're making in life right now is can't think of what I want to say is invalid. So like it's like not normal. You're not gonna want to. You're not gonna want to do have conversation with that person. You're not gonna want to. And today is October 6th, not October 8th. Let me fix that. Hold on. For video purposes, I can't have that. I can't have that showing as October 8th. People want to think I'm crazy. But um, yeah, the person that we see jigulating and vibulating all over the sidewalk and stuff like that. We're not going to want to have a conversation. We're going to and initially my first thought would be to make sure that they're okay. Like as long as they're okay and like they, what I'm saying, like they got some type of sound to them. Hey, look, I'm minding my business because ultimately what they're doing on that sidewalk is their choice. You know what I'm saying? Like and I wouldn't associate myself with anybody jigulating and vibulating and and just doing God knows what on the sidewalk. Okay, we like don't be that person. Don't be that person who knows everything. Who when somebody tries to inform you or advise you, you just ignore it because you feel like, nah, I already know about that. I'm not gonna listen to that. The choices, that choice that you make right there is called ignorance. Because although you might know or you might have some knowledge about the situation, everybody carries value. So the choice for you not to listen, uh, sometimes is a good choice, sometimes it's not. You have to know who, where, when, what, and how, and why. You know what I'm saying? Like we talking about the three C's right now. You also have to remember your five W's as well. Um, So that's just choices right there. We was just talking about choices, okay? So we're gonna go to the next C, and we're gonna tie it into finance first, and then I'll probably talk a little bit about um personal uh the personal C as well. So the second C that we're gonna talk about right now is chances. Okay. And this is why I became an accountant because of chance. Okay. Chance is also is a synonym to opportunity. Okay. So if you have a chance, you have an opportunity. And way back, way back when, way back when I was trying to find myself, I always blamed myself for not having a chance. I always told people around me, I always told my mom, I always told like anybody I came in contact with, and I wasn't doing good in life. I told them I never had the chance to do good in life. But what does that even mean? Does that even make sense? No, it didn't make sense because ultimately you hold the decision, the choice to bring the chance or opportunity to yourself. Okay, so after I started, after I stopped blaming everybody for my shortcomings of life, I started to see major progress. I started to see major improvement. I started to see major financial improvement. Like it's once I gave myself the chance, everything else kind of aligned in place. That was for me. Okay. Like, no, I'm not a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying like this chance made me millions of bucks. It made me a better person. It made me a smarter person. It made me a more knowledgeable person, uh, a more applicable person. Like it's everything that I chose, I now have the chance. Okay. And this sounds so cliche. It might sound so cliche because everybody in life be like, oh, well, if I had the chance to do that, I would have did it this way. If I had the chance to do it, it would have went out. The outcome would have been way different. Okay, cool. That may be the truth, but you never took the choice to make that chance. Okay, financially, we take chances. We take financial chances all the time. Okay, that house, that car I was just talking about, that is a financial chance. It is a chance to put you somewhere that you haven't been before, to put you in situations that you haven't been in before, to put you in places that you haven't seen before. So you have to live life by chance. If you don't, you won't ever have the opportunity to experience what life is about. And that's ultimately that's big because a lot of people don't get the experience like because they never take the chance to put themselves out there, to take the chance to go get the job, to make the money, to support the family, to take the chance to take the kids on a vacation, like just little things that we choose affect our chances greatly. You want better chances in life, make better choices. If you don't care about the chances that you have going right now in life for you, keep making the choices that you keep making the choices that you're making right now. But one day there will be you will change. You will notice that You don't want to make the choices that you're making no more. You don't want the same chances that you had no more. You want bigger chances. You want better choices. You want, like, you just want more. And it's not in the sense of greed, it's in the sense of self improvement. And that's okay with everybody in this world. If everybody want to self improve, that's all life is about, is self improvement, because nobody's perfect. So when we get here, we have to know that the chances that we have is off the choices that we make. These two C's, and I like this quote because this quote kind of ties into financial success perfectly. I came in here thinking like what topic or what notes I was gonna read off today. We're not reading notes today. We're simply talking life, chance, finance, and opportunity. So um and choices as well. So we just went over choices, chances. Let's talk about the third C, changes. Okay. Changes financially can be good or bad. Some people can handle the changes financially. Some people cannot. Most citizens learn how to adapt to changes or financial changes. Some sink, some swim. I'm saying, and this is very important too because the economy that we're in right now, with the president that we have, we don't know what the economy is going to look like next year. We don't know what the economy is going to look like 2 years from now. We don't know what the economy is going to look like in his last year. So this is change is very big right now because we all as a whole have to be ready to change at any given day because of the economy we're in. Um, it's people that we see losing their jobs. We see families demographics changing because it's people getting taken away and shipped back across the borders. Like, these things is happening daily in front of us right now as I speak. Um, it's probably some change happening somewhere across the US that we don't know about, that's going to be reported on the news at 1 p.m. or 12 p.m. whenever the news report. Um, so changes, especially financial, and I say this because right now the economy should be in save mode. We should be thinking save, 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 because you never know what the next what the next day is going to bring. We don't know, especially with this president that we have. We do not know what the next day is going to bring. He might bring terror, on. We don't know. Right now, it looks like he's trying to side with the American people. He's trying to side with American per se. Uh, his new big tax bill is beneficial to everybody, kind of everybody. So right now, the changes that he making is not really detrimental to our everyday life, but there is changes that he is making to other things besides finance that is changing the demographics of financial um stability in household. So let's just say that that father that was an immigrant that had a job and he was working, you know, making however much he was making at the corporation or company he was at. Okay, he has a family of, let's say, four. He has a wife, a son, and a daughter. Okay, we're just going to use middle school age kids. Okay, now him being the change of him no longer living in the United States and having to go back to his home country would change the whole financial stability of that household that he was living in America because he was working. So ultimately, he was probably paying the bills and taking care of his family in that household. So what happens when he has to go back and now you only have mom, son, and daughter? Does mom take up the financial responsibility to continue living in the United States, or do they pack it up and go back home? That's a change that people have to deal with that we don't see, but we know that that change is coming because ultimately, as an accountant, we can forecast things like that. Uh, so you have to be ready for like change. Change is very delicate. It's very delicate because you either float with it or you die in it. So you have to accept change when you see change come, especially if you can't control the change that's happening. Uh, you have to be willing for a change to happen as well. And if you want to control the change, you have to make the choices and give yourself the chance to change the obstacle that you're trying to change. Um, I'm going to use a personal experience to kind of help go through this last C right here. Um, before 2000, so back in 2018, 2017, back around them years right there, when my great grandmother was living, I was living with my great grandmother. I never thought about the importance of living alone as a man. So I never thought about that change. Okay. That change never hit me because I always knew that I had a place to stay. I had somebody that would let me live with them. So I never thought about that change right there. Okay. Um, she passed away 2018. Okay. So, and she had seven, 6 or 7 kids. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's either 6, 7. She had 6, 7 kids, right? So two of them was living with us at that time. One of them was incarcerated. The other one was free with us. But I say this to say, when she passed away, that was an immediate change that I had to adapt to. I'm talking about immediate. She was no longer gonna be there to pay the bills for that for me to live in that house. So I ultimately the change that I had that I never thought about of living on my own as a man came face to face with it head on. Okay. I didn't get the chance to prepare for it. I didn't get it's crazy. You hear what I said, right? Chance. That's another C. I didn't get the chance to prepare for it. I made the choice not to go ahead and um, make that change. So hit that situation head on. Immediately, I made the choice to go work at a gas station. It's called Murphy's USA. It's one of the gas stations that's associated with Walmart. So I went and worked there for about a good year. I went and worked there for about a good year before I got tired of I just got tired of the chance that Murphy's was giving me. Like not to say it won't. It was stable. It just wasn't a great chance. I wasn't going to be a lot working at Murphy's USA, and I do appreciate Murphy's USA. Ultimately, shout out to Murphy's USA because when I didn't have a job or I didn't have a chance, they ultimately made the choice to hire me, and it changed my life greatly. So I do appreciate Murphy's. Shout out to Murphy's. Um, I went and got a 1 bedroom apartment with me and my uncle. That was the first. That was the first big change that I had of my life where I lived on my own as a man. Well, it wasn't even on my own because I still had my uncle with me. So, you know, uncle, love him to death, great person. You know what I'm saying? Before his passing in 2021, I want to say it was 2021. I don't want to say it was 22, but my uncle probably passed away in 2021, 2022. I want to say 2021. Okay, so that was the next major change that I had to make a choice in my life about. By then, I had met the mother of my two children. So ultimately, when I made this change with new additions to my first daughter and her as well, the mother of my child as well. So when I made that change, um, I had the choice to either stay in that 1 bedroom apartment or, you know, get more space. So I went from a 1 bedroom apartment to a 2 bedroom apartment within the same neighborhood, um, which was which was my choice. It gave us a better chance to expand from there. I didn't think it was going to make a great change because the location was still the same. So within my 3 C's, I was kind of still in this same level of stability. Then that kind of kept me comfortable. But uh, as I was in that 2 bedroom apartment, things kept happening to where I just got tired. Just kept it was a whole bunch of situations that led up to us ultimately wanting to get out of a apartment. So that was the next change that I had to make, or we had to make as a family now, because it was no longer just me making decisions for myself. I was making decisions for two people at that time. Um, and rest in peace, Uncle Kevin. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him because ultimately the choices that he made in life helped me be able to become who I am in life today. So around this time, I started school to become an accountant because I wanted chance and change. I wanted chance and change. I got tired of being denied for things that I thought I deserved. And that makes perfect sense because a lot of us know that we deserve things in life that we may not have right now, but it's because of the choices that we're making. And as soon as you start making different choices, that change is going to come for you to have that chance to get the things that you want and need in life or you deserve in life. Um, so around this time, we moved into a house. I that was the like kind of final change before I kind of got into wanting an educational change, um, or a educational increase or improvement. So, so I kind of just laid out and mapped out choices that I made to bring chances in my life for changes to happen. This is financially, I done told you, and personally, I done told you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, these three C's correlate with finance 100%. There's no in between. Like you're gonna have to go through them three C's in life to become financially free, to become uh financially independent. You're gonna have to master them three C's, and uh it's we can master things, so don't get discouraged when I say master, because when you put in over 10,000 hours of practice at one thing, uh that's called mastering. Called mastering. You usually become a master at that um thing that you're trying to complete, like or learn whatever it is that you're doing the 10,000 hours for. And that's studied scientifically. That's not just words out of my mouth. Whew, that was a good show. I think that was a good show. We covered a lot today about choices, chances, and changes. Um, remember, remember that the choices that you make personally correlate to the choices that you will have to make financially, which also correlates to the chances personally that you will have in life to succeed financially. Okay, this all correlates within each other. And then once you have the chance financially from the choices that you made, you will start to see the change in life and how greatly self improvement is through changes, choices, and chances. This is your host, Achille Page, and I thank y'all for joining the F&E podcast. Shout out to that. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to that one viewer that sticks with me on every stream. I really don't know who it is, and I please don't tell me, but I have noticed that every time we come on live, and I mean every time we come on live, that we do have at least one person watching live. You know, people do watch the stream after, and I am grateful for that as well. If you can, go ahead and share the live videos. We post the live videos on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, um, really YouTube as well. Um, we stream live off of Twitch and YouTube as well as Riverside.fm. But if you can, please share. Please tell your friend, tell your family, tell your brother, tell your cousin, tell your auntie, tell your uncle, tell your grandma, grandpa, daddy, and mama too. Tell them to follow the F&E podcast. This is very informational. I will be dropping more gems in the morning for people to become successful. This is knowledge that I can't withhold in my own brain. I can't keep it to myself. I can't actually keep the advice to myself as well. But I am so in tune and intact with seeing everybody win that I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to hear the things that I have to say. Right now, people may not think that it is very informative, but I promise as the podcast keeps going that it will become very instrumental to financial freedom and financial independency. I thank you for joining. Again, this is Achille. This is your host. I'm signing off. Holla at you later. Tune in 10:45, the entertainment show. Love y'all.